final period in the final of the dinosaurs, the final period of the Mesozoic era is the Cretaceous. Now, during the Cretaceous period, the great continents of Laurasia and Gondwanaland from the Jurassic got even further and further split apart. In fact, there were inland seas that cut even those land masses into different parts. That doesn't mean that there wasn't interaction between the land masses, but it does mean that life was more separated, and therefore different things happened in different places. And the predators that had roamed the Jurassic now begin to sort themselves out in the Cretaceous. Allosaurids aren't gone, but they're now confined to the Old World. Ceratosaurs aren't gone, but they're thriving in places like South America. Okay, but it's the Coelurosaurs, the little niche hunters of the Jurassic, the guys who came from things like Coelophysis, that develop in really odd ways and take over North America and Asia with them. And it's largely because of two smaller families of Coelurosaurs, the Dromaeosaurs and the Tyrannosaurs. Most famous of the Dromaeosaurs is Deinonychus. Okay, in 1969, when Deinonychus was discovered, it was almost immediately identified as an active pack hunter who almost had to be a warm-blooded creature. In fact, we've now moved on to the idea that dinosaurs were probably endothermic, meaning they're probably warm-blooded. But while the Velociraptor-style Deinonychus was one evolutionary path, Coelurosaurs also got big, and that resulted in the Tyrannosaur family. And the biggest of the Tyrannosaur family was Tyrannosaurus rex, the North American variant of the species. But while the Coelurosaurs are getting big, sauropods are getting smaller, and this is mostly the case in North America. There have been new finds of fossils in Asia and in South America suggest that sauropods didn't shrink all that much. But in North America, Alamosaurus becomes the only significant sauropod who remains, largely because the sauropods are losing the competition battle to the ornithopods. Ornithopods are smaller creatures. They lived on plants that grew closer to the ground, not the great trees that the sauropods are dependent upon. And so you see the development of the iguanodonts, then the hadrosaurs, and their armored relatives. We see the emergence of the ankylosaurs in a big way in the Cretaceous. Animals that were protected completely. And we talked about the start of that movement back during the Jurassic. And then finally, there's Triceratops, perhaps one of the most famous dinosaurs, the largest of the ceratopsians, so the largest of the horned dinosaurs. And we base the idea of what is a dinosaur as what has a common ancestor between Triceratops on one side and birds on the other. But Triceratops was one of the last dinosaurs, and 65 million years ago, the Earth underwent another major extinction event, as it was probably bound to do. There are signs of a major asteroid impact that hit the Yucatan Peninsula. But it's not certain that dinosaurs weren't already on their way out due to climate change and other things. So here is the Cretaceous period, a period where dinosaurs were the most diverse, they're most numerous, but ultimately perhaps done in by a combination of climate change and an asteroid impact, leaving the Earth relatively open. With 50% of species dead, new species could now emerge and take over the roles that dinosaurs could no longer